Okay, so we're moving right along with the cleanse FAQs. This is part 3, and this is like basically like kind of some miscellaneous questions. I know some of them probably could have fall under the food part of the FAQs, but we went ahead and just threw it in here. Okay, before I go on to the questions, I just want to remind you, when you're going through all the information, not just the cleanse information, even if it's back from month 1 or moving forward, take notes as you're listening to the modules or watching the modules. Write down your questions as they're coming to mind. And if they're not answered in the materials, if it's not answered in the actual module, then go to our communication app, our community app, and ask the question. This helps us. This helps us get better. This helps us look at the information, say, okay, do we need to re-record something? Do we need to add in a FAQ? Our whole goal is to make sure that you get the information that you need to make informed decisions and informed, educated actions. That's the key. So don't be embarrassed. Don't be afraid to ask a question. We want to hear it because it makes us better. And again, it shows us where we need to maybe possibly edit or add or do something over. All right. So thank you. I appreciate you. Go ahead and do that. Now let's go ahead and move forward on our FAQ. So I need help finding the macro numbers for the cleanse. All right. When it comes to the macro numbers of the cleanse, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this FAQ, that means that you are in your members portal or education portal, whatever we're calling it. You're in your site, your area, your login area. There you have a couple different things. You have your PDF, which is the Hormone Reset Cleanse, that will take you through identifying your protein and take you through the numbers. Remember, it's protein, it's fat, and it's carbohydrates. Protein, for every 1 gram of protein, you get 4 units of energy, calories. For every 1 gram of fat, you get 9 units of energy, calories. For every 1 gram of carbohydrate, you get 4 units of energy, that's calories. Why am I telling you that? Because your protein, you're going to take your grams, your daily grams, and times it by 4. You identify your protein in the PDF, and or you can use the Excel sheet, the Excel calculator that we provided to you. When you look at the tabs, you will see protein chart, then you'll see cleanse macros tab, then you'll see hormone code tab, then you're going to see your macro tab in general for moving forward. Those tabs you don't even focus on right now. All you focus on is the protein chart tab and the cleanse macros tab. Okay. So now you identify your protein, you did that, you times it by 4, then you're doing 70 grams of fat, you times that by 9, that gives you those calories. Then you times your carbohydrates, 80 grams of carbohydrates times 4. All of those numbers will give you your total calories, but focus on your macros. If you're focusing on your macro grams, then what's going to happen is that you automatically reach your calorie needs. So don't get so much caught up on the calories, but get caught up on the macros, and don't get caught up on perfection, because there is a leeway of anywhere from 5 to 10 grams. You can be off because the apps are not absolute when it comes to numbers and data. So don't stress over that. You could be over or under in any particular area. When you're over in extreme or under in extreme, then that's where things get an issue. But anywhere from 5 to 10 grams, it's not extreme. Is the 70 grams of fat a combination of protein and good fats, or in addition to what's in our protein? This is a great question. I love that question. Your 70 grams of fat is a combination of your protein. If you're eating the proteins that we recommend, we're recommending organic eggs, whole eggs. We're recommending high omega fatty fishes, which is like salmon. You do have white fish is a little bit lower. There's going to be lower in fat, but then also organic poultry. You can do the drumsticks and the thighs. You're getting equal amounts of protein to fat in those, because so that's going to be part of your 70 grams. In addition to how you get the rest of your fat is by adding in like your salad dressing oils, any oil that you cook with, any butter that you cook with, adding avocado, adding MCT oil, adding coconuts, adding nuts. Those are all going to add to your fats. Should I break up my 80 grams of carbs through my meals, basically? So that's question was shortened, but that's a great question as well. 80 grams is not a lot. However, if you're doing 2 meals or you're doing 3 meals, to me, people are like, should I have 3 meals a day and 2 snacks? We don't go or subscribe to the whole thing of a bunch of meals several times a day, because it's not good for your insulin. It's not good for your glucose, right? Because you just have, you're never allowing it to reset, basically. So you're a sugar burner all day long. Why am I telling you this? Because it doesn't matter. You like getting how you get your 80 grams in. However, if you are insulin resistant or carb intolerant, which you can identify that by taking the hormone macro code questionnaire, because you identify your carb tolerance. If you're low carb tolerant, then, or poor carb tolerance, however you want to state it, then breaking it up will be easier on your system. One of the things that you might notice is like, okay, you fast and you feel great, you have energy, and then all of a sudden when you eat, you get tired. You're lower on energy. And that's because insulin release and glucose release, that's the carbohydrates. So you could break it up to make it easier on how your body processes that carbohydrates. One of the things that I suggest is that you break your fast, your first meal of the day, with protein and fat and vegetables, not a starchy carbohydrate, and then consume your starchy carbohydrates with your other meals. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, go ahead and come into the community app and let me know if you need clarification. Should I weigh my protein raw? Yes, absolutely. If you can't, then that's okay. But when we're cooking, when it comes to your protein, you want to weigh it raw, because if you boil it, it adds fluid to it. If you grill it, it dehydrates it. If you put it in an air fryer, and if it's fried, which you're not doing anything fried right now when it comes to the cleanse phase. However, how you cook your protein will change the weight of it. So if you forget, sometimes trust me, I get lazy. I don't feel like weighing it, or I forget to weigh it. It's rare. So I'll just do grilled chicken or whatever the protein was. But you're going to have more accurate information if you weigh it raw and then track it that way. How do we determine our body fat? Okay, with your body fat, you can get a bioelectrical impedance scale. You can go right on Amazon. They have all these different digital scales that you can get that talks right to your phone now. They'll have apps, and that's how the best and easiest way to track your body fat, outside of going and doing like a bod pod, which is more expensive. You can spend $150 on a decent scale and just keep it track of it that way. Or you can go into your local gym if you have a gym membership, and a lot of times they will have trainers that will measure your body fat for you, or your health professional. A lot of health professionals now, they don't just have the basic scales. They actually have a bioelectrical impedance scale that will measure your body fat. And they're usually better scales than what we have at home. They're more expensive. So that's another way that you can get and determine your body fat. What if I have issues with digestion, i.e. constipation? You're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm eating all these vegetables. Why am I constipated? Because your body's doing a shift. Your gut's off, your liver's off, inflammation's up. And yes, you actually can get constipated. Your nerves and emotions can make you constipated as well. So if you go at least 3 days without a bowel movement, no bueno. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to do some warm water with a tablespoon. You're going to do about 8, 10, 12 ounces of warm water with a tablespoon, minimum a tablespoon of baking soda. Let it dissolve completely where it turns clear. It tastes horrible. I'm just telling you that right now. Guzzle it down and give yourself anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. I don't suggest going out. I suggest that you stay home and close to the bathroom because you might need it, but that should work for you. Also, you can do things like charcoal, depending on when you listen to this. Coming soon, we have a fabulous detox tincture that will support our hormone reset cleanse. It's going to be amazing. Our detox product, you would use that and you should not have any constipation, and it'll help collect and pull out toxins and parasites and all the things. So it just depends on, not yet, coming soon, and depending on when you listen to it, it might be out. I don't know. How much lemon should go in your warm water in the AM? Okay, so originally back in the day, we said, okay, squeeze the juice of a half of a lemon, but you don't need that much, because if you're doing apple cider vinegar, do a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. You could do more if you're used to it. And you could do like a tablespoon of lemon juice, warm with it, fresh. Or make sure that whatever you buy has no crap in it. Okay. Can I or should I intermittent fast? We highly recommend that you're intermittent fasting during the cleanse phase. If you have not been fasting, see, if you've gone through the Hormone Reset 101, you've already started fasting, so you're adjusted to it. So go ahead, start fasting. If you have not been fasting, you're new to it, then you want to ease into it because you're doing a lot of different things. It's more important to focus on the food and the ratios in which you need. And let's say you go to sleep, you're used to sleeping 8 hours, just push your breakfast back an hour. So go 9 hours, and then keep doing that until you work up to at least 14 hours. You just don't have to jump into the intermittent fasting of 16 hours. What do I do after the cleanse? I know that's a big question. Okay. So after the cleanse, well, number one, you're going to do a reintroduction phase, and that's in month 3. Or actually what we're going to do, deciding that right now, is that we will have the instructions for the reintroduction in month 2 for you, because it's so important. Because if you're doing 14 days, you need the reintroduction. So basically what you're going to do each day is that you're going to add one food that you eliminated, one meal, one ingredient, like let's say example, rye bread, because it's rye and it's gluten. You're going to do one slice of rye bread the first day, and that's all you're going to do. And you're going to track how you're feeling, what you noticed. We have full instructions exactly how to do the reintroduction phase. So that's one of the things that you're going to be doing. Next is what you're going to do is that you need to identify your carb intolerance or tolerances. So that means that you're going to go do the hormone macro code questionnaire. You could do it in the PDF form and or do it in the Excel. And then we're going to show you what you do with those numbers and that information, because now those ratios change, and it's dependent. Those ratios are dependent on how you answer the questions and where you fall, whether you're a type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, or type 5, which is menopausal. And those ratios are there, and it's based on your protein and whether you fall within one of those macro code types. So you're probably thinking, what? You got to go back and look at it so you know what I'm talking about. So there you have it. Yay, we made it. Again, you got this. 14 days. We go through all the information. Make sure that you reviewed all the videos, the modules, read the information. If we didn't cover a question, go ahead, or you need clarification, go into our community and go ahead and ask there. I'll see you guys on the inside. You got this. You rock it.